Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to a very special performance of the Enda Walsh play Chatroom, live from Reigate Grammar School. As I speak to you, I'm standing in Drama Studio 2, the cast are behind me, they're ready to go, and we have a wonderful socially distanced audience and crew set up in the room. I don't know if we can see them or not, but if you can, then you're lucky because they're wonderful people. And we're absolutely delighted to be able to bring this show to you this week, streaming at 7 p.m. this evening, and tomorrow at 7 p.m. and again on Friday at 7 p.m. Just repeating a warning that you will have seen on the website that this show does contain strong language, adult themes from the start, and representations of some things which you might find disturbing. We've recommended it for audiences of age 15 and over for that reason. But you've read that already, you've tuned in, so I'd just like to say a huge thank you from all of us here for those people who have made this happen, who've worked tirelessly to make it happen, to the crew who are here and in the back room behind me working out the stream, to the cast and to everyone who's here in the audience today, and to you for watching at home. Without further ado, may I present to you Chatroom.
She said, I will never be your queen. Oh God, who is this but your beautiful daughter? She may be the cure, but for now she's the torture. Oh God, who is this but your beautiful daughter? She may be the cure, but for now she's the torture.
Depressing me now.
Really?
You see, you've lost me. At the beginning I was with you, but not now. I'm a little disappointed.
Sorry.
You really think that? Thought it's all over? Come to an opinion? You believe that?
Well, it is popular.
So is body piercing, but that's not a good thing, is it?
Yeah, I suppose.
So, let's look at the facts. A single man lives in a big castle in the middle of... Where's it set again?
Film or book?
There's a difference.
Well, both films change some details. It doesn't really matter.
Well, in the book, it's set wherever it's set. And this man lives in this big house in the middle of town. He lives with dwarves. Nothing wrong with that, but they're orange. Orange dwarves with green hair.
And there's only 20 of them making the world's supply of chocolate. None of this is meant to be realistic.
Well, why make them dwarves? Why the green hair? Why make them orange in the first place? Can you see where I'm going with this?
Kind of.
What's wrong with ordinary?
It's a children's story. Ordinary's boring, right?
Which is my original point about these children's writers. As if a little boy who shares a giant bed with his grandparents. 4 of them. As if in the real world he'd win this extraordinary chocolate empire.
Yeah.
You know, in the real world, it would have been that fat German kid who falls in the chocolate lake at the beginning of the talk. In the real world, he's the winner. This is how it really ends. He falls in. His father gets these big-time lawyers to sue the shit out of Willy Wonka. They look into his shady past, his very dodgy personal life with those orange midgets. He's dragged through the tabloids with paedophilia ringing in his ears. They make shit out of him. Willy Wonka's no more. He's done. He's doing 25 years in a high-security prison, being passed around by his fellow prisoners like the proverbial box of Quality Street. Because in the outside, the Germans win. Because let's face it, the Germans always win. Fat German.
His name was Augustus.
Right. Well, Augustus. He inherits everything as part of the settlement. He gets a lot. And because he's such a fat glutton, he can't stop eating all this chocolate. The more the Oompa Loompas make, the more Augustus eats. He's 18 years old and weighs 40 stone. Until, one day, Augustus wakes up, stretches for the TV remote, and dies of a massive coronary sclerosis. That's the real world for you. Where exactly are you getting confused?
It's only a children's story.
It's a lie. What's the point? What are they telling us?
What are who telling us?
Adults, writers, Harry fucking Potter. In the real world, he's still under the stairs. He's a 30-year-old freak who's developed his own under the stairs language.
The point is...
Yes?
The point is that children don't want to read true stories. What child wants to read the news? It's just escape. It's important that we dream of other things.
Fuck off. Life's too short. The world's going to evolve in any way. Children need to be told what's really happening. Cold, clear facts. That's what blots us down from the trees. That's what powers economy.
A lot of these children's stories are metaphors. Writers are trying to express important issues in creative ways.
Expressing important... You see, you're depressing me again.
Fuck's sake!
Do you think any 8-year-old finishing reading Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is going to think anything other than I'd love a never-ending gobstopper, Grandpa? Listen to me, John.
It's Jack!
They're trying to keep children young. Adults, publishers, J.K. Rowling. She's the enemy. She should be removed, erased, exterminated.
So this is what you're doing in the Harry Potter chat room? Trying to drum up some interest on the assassination of J.K. Rowling?
Well, are you interested?
I can't. I have to do my geography homework.
But I was younger then, and she just came onto the scene. Remember? Yeah. You're 6 years of age, and that's a critical age.
Of course.
And that video, with her at school in her school uniform and pigtails.
She looked lovely.
You wanted to be her, didn't you?
She didn't have her tits done then.
That was much later.
But even then, they were a decent size. At least a B cup.
So I'm watching that video after not seeing it since I was 6. And I have to say, I felt betrayed by Britney. You know, her songs and videos are all about that journey from girl to woman.
Yeah.
And it sort of felt good, didn't it? Like Britney Spears was part of your puberty.
Yeah, I remember getting my first period. And my sister showed me I'm not a girl, not yet a woman, and thinking, thanks Britney, my sentiments exactly.
She felt like a spokeswoman.
Oh, definitely.
But as I watched Hit Me Baby One More Time, and all that sexual stuff with her tongue, and just how cropped that crop top was.
We didn't notice.
It wasn't for the kiddies.
It was for the older boys and the daddies.
I got really angry over her betrayal. It's no longer Britney who's talking to us, but some pervert record producer who's got this vision, this plan of turning every 6-year-old girl in the Western world into a tongue-flicking, crop-topped, belly-button pierced temptress.
Did she have her belly button pierced back then?
Yeah, I think she did.
Oh, sorry, go on.
You know, I've got my belly button pierced.
Did it hurt?
It's not as bad as you hear. But anyways, Britney. Britney!
Yeah, Britney.
Don't you think a lot of young girls began to feel that betrayal?
Both of us did.
And maybe that's why her career died a slow death. She lied to us.
Don't think it has something to do with her music being a bit shit?
A little bit?
And that she's essentially a poor girl with no respect for money. And that's why she's an unmarried mother with fluctuating weight problems.
But don't you think the fans realised that they were being manipulated? That they made a stand against a pervert record producer?
Britney got burnt.
Britney was thick.
She made her money.
She lost our respect. If I met Britney Spears tomorrow, I would gently pull her to one side, place my arms around her shoulders like I'm going to hug her, move my face towards hers like I'm going to kiss her, then whisper in her ear, Britney Spears, you sold my childhood soul.
That's cruel.
You sold my childhood soul. Then I'd smash her in the face.
And what would Britney say?
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Poor.
Her day of judgment will come when some teenage girl will stop her outside of Burger King and say, you sold my childhood soul. bitch.
Oh, sorry, I'd better go. It's been really nice talking to you, whoever you are.
Can we talk some more? I've had an argument with my bitch mother and I'm feeling terrible.
Okay. So, what do you want to talk about?
Murder.
Baby, can't you see?
And you really don't mind talking about this?
That's what the room's all about.
But you'd say if you did mind. If it was too annoying, too draining, too boring, maybe?
I don't mind listening.
Right. Well, I'm not even sure if it's that serious yet. Whether I'm in the right place.
There isn't a scale of depression here, Jim. I'm here at the other end listening to you. If you want to talk, then talk. If you don't, then don't talk.
Right. Okay.
Don't be nervous.
I'll talk then. I'm a Roman Catholic, and it's last Easter, and every year our parish does this passion play at our local church. My mother's very active in the church. She's the Virgin Mary.
Which would make you Jesus Christ.
As in the passion play, she's the Virgin Mary.
I understand.
And my family, they all get involved. My brothers, they're Roman soldiers. They're very broad, not like me, so they fit the part. One year, my brother Derek played Jesus and actually cracked his knee right open. It was a mess. But anyway, this year, and my mother comes into my room with this terrific news, and I think I'm going to get a crack at playing a centurion until they tell me they want me to be John.
Well, John's a great part.
Yeah, but he's a bit gay.
How do you mean?
I've got nothing against gay people.
St. John was gay.
Historically speaking, St. John probably wasn't gay, but in our parish it's always the slightly more effeminate boys who get to play John. Like I said, I've got nothing against gay people. I respect the gay community. They're tough. They know their own mind. I'm just not like that. I'm not interesting enough to play the gay icon that is St. John. Never in a million years could I get away with those lime robes.
Lime.
It's sort of an unspoken thing in our parish. It's a bit weird.
Right, carry on.
So, anyway, we do a few rehearsals with my mother as the Virgin Mary, and I'm supposed to get emotional when Jesus is dying on the cross, when he says to Mary, "Woman, behold your son." And I know that Jesus is just about to croak it, but basically I'm getting very nervous because I'm a terrible actor. I'm all blocked up.
Emotionally blocked.
Exactly.
Right.
So, I tell my mother I want to drop out the play. I say it quiet so the others can't hear, but she starts screaming at me in front of all of those people. She starts saying things like, "Why are you such a coward? Why don't you have a backbone? Why aren't you like your older brothers?" And then she says, "I'm just like my dad." But what would I know? I haven't seen my dad since I was 6. She starts saying things like, "You're just like your dad, Jim. Just like your dad, walking out on us. Gutless." I mean, I hate her just then. Why did she have to say something like that? Why? The next night is the Passion Play proper. And up there is Jesus. This guy, Nick Lawson, he's into amateur dramatics in a big way. He actually played the widow Twankey in Aladdin once. He was hilarious. But as Jesus Christ, he was even better. Obviously not in a hilarious way.
I understand.
Right, so Nick's line to me and my mother is coming up, and he says, "Woman, behold your son." I'm still really furious with her from the night before, and I wasn't sure if it was his great delivery, or just my mother being my mother. But I started to cry. And I'm crying really hard. And people are thinking that this is wonderful. I completely upstage Nick's crucifixion. But anyway, afterwards, and my mother's having a lemonade in the sacristy, and I'm out of my lime robes, I look over at her, and I realise why I was crying back then. I was crying because I know that my mother doesn't like me. If I truly remind her of the man that left us, the man that left us when I was 6, then maybe I should leave too. But where to? Where do I go to?
The rule in the room is we don't give advice, we just listen.
Oh, okay. Right. So, what about you? Do you have anything that you want to share?
I just listen.
No problems.
Of course, but I prefer to listen to other people's.
What do you get out of that?
I'm not too sure.
Knowing that there are other people in the same position as you probably makes you feel better about your own problems.
No.
These are very strange places, aren't they? Like I said, I'm not too sure whether I should be here. What do you think?
As I said,
The rule in the room is that we don't give advice. Right. Have you been to many suicide chat rooms?
yes.
And did they help you?
Who said I needed to be helped?
What's your real name?
You can call me Laura.
Ah, but is that your real name?
Maybe.
What city are you from?
That doesn't matter. None of that really matters. You just need to know that someone's listening to you. That's enough, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. Will we talk about something else, Laura?
I don't talk. You talk. I listen.
Talk about what?
Tell me about the day your father went missing.
Voilà, c'est comme ça depuis des ans ce matin. Ce n'est pas lui, ce n'est pas lui que je sens la colère qui me fait trembler les mains. Ce n'est pas lui, ce n'est pas lui. Je perds mon sang-froid en écoutant cet air-là.
We need to set rules.
Why? We don't use our real names, we don't say what schools we're from.
Just keep out the details. It gives us more freedom.
Keeps it impersonal.
I'll use William.
I'll be Eva.
I always use Jack.
Emily.
How do we know you're not two middle-aged men trying to get off chatting up two teenage girls?
How do we know you're not two frustrated housewives trying to take advantage of two innocent little altar boys?
Are you altar boys?
Are you desperate housewives?
No. Excellent.
I was an altar boy.
Oh, fuck.
No, I quite liked it.
How?
You see, when you're 7, you have a very simple idea of life. And dressed in my altar boy's gown every Sunday, I really thought of myself as some sort of an angel. I called myself an angel waiter.
Angel waiter.
You see, I believed in Adam and Eve and that God created everything in 6 days, and he had a rest on the Sunday. And I had this image of the church being like a restaurant for him to rest in.
Or a McDonald's.
Exactly. And it was my job as an angel waiter to serve him on his day off.
So, what does God eat?
Chicken nuggets.
I was only 7.
That's very cute.
How long did you think this?
Several months.
And the whole altar boy thing?
4 years.
4 years!
Are you religious now?
I'd rather not talk about religion. You either do or you don't believe. End of discussion.
Dick.
We're all around 15, 16. We're all middle-class kids of varying wealth growing up in and around Chiswick. I think we know each other's views on boring other things like religion.
Oh, right. So what's mine?
You're disillusioned with the official church. You have to find your own. You have to find your own personal religion to the simple idea that people should be nice to each other.
Bastard.
It's a cliche. We're all cliches.
Yeah, all people can be put in little boxes like that.
They can.
So what are you?
A pain in the arse.
Apart from that?
I'm a cynic. I'm an angry cynic.
Very attractive.
I'm not interested in being attractive. Why should I be?
Because attractive people go further.
Oh yes. I think I remember glancing at that article in one of my sister's magazines.
People see a cynic as a black hole. They're nothing. Whereas a person who might be attractive or charming, they're at the very centre of things, changing things, manipulating events. What are you but a bad smell?
It's very kind of you.
You know what I mean.
You think I'm heavy-handed?
You certainly sound that way.
He's bloody opinionated.
Well, that's the name of this chat room, isn't it? Chiswick's bloody opinionated.
Christ.
Look, I'm at the age, well, we're all at the age, where we need to stand up for something. To me, it's not about making friends and sitting in McDonald's, bumming cigarettes, talking about the latest viral TikTok trend. That's a waste of fucking time. Who cares? We're teenagers. That used to mean something. It was about revolution. Apart from goths, what have teenagers achieved in the last 30 years? Nothing.
Did goths achieve something?
They made their mark. They were depressed and they showed it.
Yeah, my mother was a goth. We've got this photo from 1996 and she's got a cold sore on her cheek the size of a tennis ball. Quite amazing.
It was dirty work being a goth.
Nowadays, teenagers wouldn't go that far before cracking open their cleansers.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know about that. I cultivated a ball on my neck last year for a few weeks. My mother took me to the doctor, and I was gutted when he said he wouldn't lance it. He gave me this black plaster with a tiny hole in the middle. It sort of draws the pus towards the tiny hole.
Do we have to
I was
listen?
watching TV with my dad and baby brother, and over the telly I hear this noise. I swear to God it hit the wall behind me.
Oh, that's disgusting.
But it was a revolution.
How?
My body was revolting.
Oh, the comedy.
What does anyone know what I'm really talking about?
Not really.
Yeah, I do.
Finally.
I went on a Black Lives Matter march for an hour or so. I felt really good and I felt empowered, but it was just so small. In the great big scheme of my life, it was just 1 hour of saying that I believed in something.
Yeah.
Please.
I suppose the rest of the time was sleepwalking and waiting for something to happen, instead of making something happen. It would be so great to accomplish something important, to have a cause.
William was to assassinate J.K. Rowling.
I was only joking.
You talked about it for an hour last week in the Harry Potter chat room.
It's the idea of her. What she stands for.
And what's that?
William reckons that children's writers simplify everything to keep children simple.
They see us as a threat.
Who do?
Adults.
It's like the adults support these writers to write the pointless stories of fantasy, to give children the cutesy warped idea of what life's really about.
So, J.K. Rowling's the field marshal.
She's the enemy. If I could kill the idea of her without getting her hurt, I'd do it tomorrow.
You actually a lunatic.
I just want to do something important. It's frustrating.
Would you ever kill anything, William?
No. Any idiot can kill something. Where's the glory in that?
Aren't you meant to say that every life is sacred?
Exactly.
That's crap.
There are some people and life's just wasting them. Terrorists, racists, dictators.
PE teachers,
Some of the goodness out of living.
like William.
Shut up.
I think William just wants a cause. He wants to see that cause through. He wants to make a big statement.
Yeah. I want to make a big statement. Who doesn't? Thanks, Eve.
It's either...
Right. Eva.
Is anyone there? Anyone still awake? Is this chat room really called Chiswick's Buddy Opinionated?
We don't use our real names, names of schools, any details.
Right. I'll be Jim then.
Hello, Jim. I'm Eva.
Emily.
Jack.
I'm William.
So, what happens here? I don't know this place. What's up?
Heated discussion, chit chat, bullshit.
We're looking for a cause. William wants to make a statement.
We're all a bit frustrated.
If you have any causes handy, feel free.
Can we talk about our problems here?
Oh, God.
Have you got problems, Jim?
Yeah, I do.
Are they big problems?
Well, I think so. To me, anyway.
And do you want us to listen to these problems and give you some advice?
Jesus, William.
Hello? Look, I will go to another room if you want.
Jim,
Yes?
we're here to help you.
I've been bullied all the way through primary and now in secondary school. I'm very skinny and a bit funny looking, so it goes with the territory. But recently, I've started to have these worries. These deeper worries. Like, thinking, what's the point? What's the point in everything? You're not in a moany, teenagey way.
Your depression isn't pretension.
How do you mean?
You're genuinely depressed.
100% genuine. I'm not one of those people who has an altar to Kurt Cobain. I actually can't stand Nirvana. I don't need music to feed my depression. I can happily feel it all by myself.
Obviously not happily.
Yeah, happily is the wrong word. But you know what I mean.
What does depression feel like?
It feels great. What do you think?
No, I know it's crap. I just want to hear what it feels like to Jim.
Well, Jim?
Depression's like soup. Everything has the consistency of soup. And your heart and your insides, they just sort of ache. It's like everything has been clogged up with 5 sliced loaves of white bread. It's exactly like that.
Wow.
Depression's like bread and soup?
Shut up, Jack!
I was only repeating.
The food comparison probably doesn't work.
Schizophrenics often say they feel like a mixed salad.
You sound nice. Do you have a girlfriend?
Oh, wait a second. We're here to give Jim some advice.
I just wanted to know if you had anyone close to you. You obviously don't have any family to talk to, so I thought maybe an understanding girlfriend would help you.
Jesus, Emily. If you'd been listening to Jim for the last hour, you wouldn't have asked that. Jim has real problems. It's not something that can be solved by a quick fiddle outside the chip shop.
He's different.
Of course he'd love a girlfriend. But that can't happen because he's dealing with just getting up in the morning and facing into another one of his shitty days.
I'm not that bad.
Maybe think before you speak, Emily.
Piss off.
No, it's just bullshit. I expected more from you. You didn't strike me as some head-in-the-sand princess.
I'm not like that.
Selfish cow.
Jesus, all I said was...
Jim has the courage to come into this chat room and open up to us about his pathetic crap. Yeah. All you ask to do is to imagine that other people could be different from you.
I have no idea what I'm like.
Well, by a comment like that, like Jim could be cured by the heart of a good girl.
You know what? Just fuck off.
Maybe think before you speak, Emily. Living in a little suburban bubble, small group of girlfriends who hang around after music lessons, sniggering over copies of Bliss.
They're all called Sarah, right? Sarah Ann, Sarah Jane, Sarah Louise, Sarah Marie.
The hairband brigade in your deck shoes and lacrosse shirts.
What's the worst thing that's happened to you, Emily?
Oh, come on, guys.
Scuffed your chinos in the park? That night Daddy wouldn't pick you up from Pizza Hut and you had to get the bus home?
Or when your pony had to be put down because your big fat preppy ass was buckling its back.
Oi! Shut up, Jack.
I have anorexia, you know.
So what?
Weekend anorexia, was it? Bursting out of those chinos, had to shift a few pounds.
Well, Emily, you know, anorexia is a status symbol for your type of girl. You wear your 6 months of anorexia like a badge of honour. You think it gives you an edge. It makes you a stereotype. That's why when someone talks to you about their depression, all you can do is bat it aside with some shit about, if only you had a girlfriend, you'd be feeling much better. Christ. If we let you drone on, you'd be singing, cheer up, Charlie.
Ugh. Willy Wonka and his chocolate factory. I hate that fucking film. Get out of here, Emily.
We want people who are here for Jim.
I am here for Jim.
Who understand his problems. Who get the cause.
What cause?
So Jim is your cause now.
We're here 100% on 24-hour call. Jim's being cut off over something and we're here to listen and to give advice. Understood?
That's right.
Jim doesn't need some whiny, ex-anorexic pony rider.
Put simply...
Piss off!
Is she gone?
Hardly matters.
I thought we were supposed to be friends.
Silly cow.
Maybe she didn't mean what you think.
There's no need to defend her, Jim. She's not needed.
Anorexia's terrible. You shouldn't have said those things.
Forget about her. She's cancelled. We're here for Jim. What about you, Jack?
Yeah, I suppose.
A wonderful vote of confidence there. They maybe a bit more conviction next time, fun man.
Well, no offence, Jim, but we your age, shouldn't you get some advice from a doctor?
Well, I was actually thinking.
Christ, Jack, that's so fucking cruel. Don't you get it? He hasn't got anyone. We're it.
Well, all I'm saying...
Jack! Can we step into Kylie's chat room? I need to speak to you. In private.
Okay.
Well, that was all a bit weird.
Well, you don't have to worry about that now.
Okay then.
So, tell me about the day your father went missing.
Well, it's quite important. Shouldn't I wait for the other two to come back?
I'll get them my notes.
Right. Right. Well, I'm 6, and my mother and my brothers are on some trip over the weekend. Some treat for something or other. And my dad's supposed to stay home and look after me. A good chance for us to bond. So we're sitting at the kitchen table, and he looks over to me. And it's like the first time we've looked at each other. And he asked me if I want to go anywhere, and I say, to the zoo to see the penguins. When I was 6, I had this mad obsession with penguins. I used to dress up as a penguin and only ask for fish fingers at dinner time. And if it wasn't penguins, it was cowboys. Cowboys were cool. A penguin costumed as a cowboy was a step too far, funnily enough.
Oh my god.
So, we go to the zoo, and I'm dressed up in my cowboy outfit, holster and gun, hat, all that, and we're on the bus. And we're having a nice chat about when I was a baby, how I was a very fat baby, and how a week after I was born I stopped eating, and how everyone was worried, and that he was worried, and that he was happy when I got better and he could take me home again. We go to the zoo, we go straight to the penguins, of course, and there I am, in my cowboy outfit looking at penguins. Had a nice chat with my dad on the bus on the way here. And then he let go of my hand and says he'll be back with the chalk ice. And he goes. He's gone. I'm happy looking at the penguins, but it's been an hour since he left. So I go look for him. I'm wandering around the zoo and I'm not worried yet. And I don't talk to anyone. Then I go back outside the zoo to the buses, tell the bus driver my address. He asks where my parents are, and I say they're already at home. So I get on the seat closest to him, and when we get back, as I get off, he says, "So long, cowboy." It was nice. Then I get the key from under the front doormat and unlock the door. There's no one there. I hang up my cowboy outfit, and it being Saturday night, I decide to have a bath. Then change into my pyjamas, because that's what my dad would have liked. Get myself a nice warm glass of milk and a plate of cookies, and then put on Strictly, because it's my dad's favourite telly programme. But it's getting dark, and I'm getting worried. And the house, it's too big. So I grab my quilt and I go to the bathroom, and I lock the bathroom door behind me because I feel safer when the door is locked and he's not coming back. He's never coming back. I stay in there for 2 days.
It will be a laugh. Right now, we're all he has. We're there for him 24 hours a day. It'll be a blast. Eva gets it, why can't you? He's our cause. Let's let him talk. Mess him up a bit. See how far he'll go. Are you there, Jack? Are you with the cause, Jack? Jack!
What next?
If you are the dealer, I'm out of the game.
sharing, Jim. Let's recap. A lower middle class family with your mother having notions above her status, hence the extracurricular activities, the rugby, the horse riding, the rowing,
etc, etc, etc.
At the age of 4, you realise that the other children on your street laugh at your brothers for their aggressive social climbing.
And the people in the rowing club laugh at them for wearing the shabbiest clothes.
Your first feelings of anxiety when you realise that you are living in a family hated by everyone and that you are one of them.
Right.
You decide to stay indoors, but being the youngest brother to brothers built on the rugby pitch, they adopt you as their plaything, and later their punch bag.
At the age of 5, you go back outside to play with the other children.
Only to see that bonds of friendship have already been formed.
And that there is little room for a small tubby toddler with an unhealthy obsession for penguins.
You are all alone, but you do find a friend in...
Timmy.
Little Timmy Timmons.
Yeah.
a tiny 6-year-old with severe bronchial problems who has to drag an oxygen canister behind him. Whilst the other children are out playing road football.
You are watching Timmy's mother slap phlegm out of Timmy's chronic lungs and into a Tesco bag.
Watching this at the age of 6, you have your first thoughts on your own mortality.
True.
Until one momentous day, your father leaves you at the zoo, leaving your family in the shit.
Your mother is forced into getting her very first job. She finds work at a petrol station, ending all her dreams of the posh life and throwing her into a depression eased only by...
Gin and tonic. The tonic being...
Valium.
Your best friend Timmy dies, but not by the tragic weakening of his lungs in the middle of the night.
But by a speeding Ford Mondeo, which flattens Timmy's trailing oxygen canister, leaving him walking zombie-like through the mean streets of Chiswick as the other children shout...
Spurs!
The day of Timmy's funeral, you take your first Valium. You are aged 8.
8.5.
8.5.
You try to make contact with your dad by placing leaflets upon lampposts, but to no avail.
You try to make friends with anyone you meet by integrating yourself to whatever they want you to be.
But to no avail. You decide to retreat back indoors to your Neanderthal brothers' daily meetings.
You hide yourself in books of the occult, which leads to a period of bedwetting.
Is that important?
Definitely. You briefly turn to religion, where you take part in a passion play and realise you hate Jesus Christ only slightly less than you hate your own mother, the Virgin Mary.
At 13, you see your first porn, which only creates more of a distance between you and those girls you will never get to touch.
You hate yourself and decide to stop communicating with other people entirely. Your life is directions.
Jesus.
The next 2 years are a sad cocktail of homemade beer, the odd shot of whiskey, and the odd Valium.
Nights begin to take on a pattern of aggressive self-analysis until one night you are speaking to an American bloke on the internet who is planning to kill himself. His unfortunate name is Chad.
Like Chad and the others in the suicide club, you reach a moment of recognition. You are searching for that elusive purpose.
A purpose. Right.
Purpose. Fuck. 15 years. It's so depressing.
If it wasn't such a tragic life, it would make a very funny musical.
I don't think you've ever been given a chance, Jim. It always turns out that for some reason you're the one who gets burnt.
But why me?
You can't blame yourself for what other people have done to you or what other people think of you, Jim.
The reasons why people have done those things isn't something we have control over. Why me is a pointless question. Stupid, even.
Right, sorry.
What you're feeling right now, this very moment, that's all that matters. Concentrate on that.
But try and think more positive.
Oh, shut up, Jack!
But fuck it, guys. All this talk...
Jack!
No, this is bullshit. You're just highlighting all the shit that's happened to Jim.
Jack! Stop!
But this...
You don't care about Jim.
Yes, I care.
Why didn't you tell him what you told us earlier?
What are you talking about?
Be honest with him. Tell him.
Tell him, Jack.
What did he say?
I told him about your dad and how he left you when you were a child. And Jack started laughing.
What?
From the outset, Jack's been saying that you sounded like a spoilt little twat who needed a kick in the arse.
You said that, Jack.
No.
He can't be trusted. He's one of those hard-working, lower-class types. He's not even from Chiswick. He's a Brixton boy or something. The apple of his mother's eye. He makes himself out to be everybody's friend. He's a backstabbing bastard.
Fuck off! Nothing worse than someone who's ashamed of their background, is there, William? Some eager beaver affecting a voice to get on.
Oh, Jesus.
Can't you see him? The little Lord Fauntleroy of Stockwell, stuck in his bedroom dreaming of escape.
If he thinks that way about his family, then friends must mean shit.
He's got no friends. It's all virtue with Jack. Can't have people seeing him for what he really is.
So what does Jim mean to the superior Jack, I wonder?
A whinging child.
Some middle-class quack?
A gutless gibbering twerp.
One of life's morons?
A stupid imbecile.
A mollycoddled twat?
Jim, please!
Shut up, Jack.
But this is Jack. You worthless piece of shit. Why don't you just take your snobby, elitist backside and fuck off back to a night of Pringles and Sky One?
Too good.
Fuck it. Jim,
I'm listening.
you need to focus your anger and channel it into something that would get all those people from your past back.
How do you mean?
How do you think you would hurt your mother for all those years of neglect? All those years she treated you like nothing.
Well, I've been fighting her for so long now.
But she doesn't listen to you, does she?
No, she doesn't. It doesn't make me feel any better.
So,
I've been thinking, what would my mother think? If she came in one morning after I had done something terrible, like slit my wrists or something, I can imagine her face.
bitch.
She'd be crushed. The guilt would kill her.
Yeah, I suppose it would. But I don't think I'm ready to do that.
Jim,
Yes?
me and Eva can't imagine what your life's been like. It just sounds so sad. Without hope, probably. But we've been giving up our time and listening to you for the past few nights now, haven't we?
Yeah, and thanks, lads, really.
And I only want you to do one thing for me.
Yeah, sure will, whatever it is.
Before you go to sleep tonight, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. Do you have a pen and paper to write it down?
Yeah, go on.
Why is it people treat me like I'm nothing?
Why is it people treat you?
If nobody cares about my life, why should I care?
Oh, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and my mother's right outside, hoovering the stairs and the landing. Today, my 3 idiot brothers called me a freak for not wanting brown sauce on my quiche. I better go. Thanks, guys.
Sweet dreams.
He's ours. The rule in the room is we don't give advice.
He spoke about you. He spoke about this place.
I can't help him, so if you're not here for anything else,
But he might listen to you.
I can't get involved. Look, all I do is sit here and listen to people my age who have these urges to hurt themselves. Most of the time, they don't do anything. A lot of the time, they just need to know that someone's listening to them because they either feel that they don't have anyone or they actually don't have anyone. That's all I do.
But the only people he has are 2 strangers that want to see him do something to himself.
I don't go into other rooms anymore. There's too much shit that goes on. People get hurt.
Exactly.
Christ. Are you still there? Laura, please.
If you want to pass on my email to Jim, it's laura15@gmail.
Oh, for fuck's sake! You don't have to talk if you don't want to. Just come and you'll see. If it gets too much, you can always get out. We'll be right there with you.
But who are you? How do I know I can trust you?
I started a mathematics club called the Brainiacs. I've never so much as looked at a boy. There's nothing I'd like more than to get out of this hideous body, to be able to get the difference between common and natural logarithms.
Emily?
To be able to surprise myself. Last night, I had a dream, and I swear to God, I think I experienced my first orgasm. Today, in looking back over the details of the dream, all I can remember is Stephen Hawking asking me to change his batteries. Believe me, Laura, you can trust me. I'm a trustworthy person. All we need to do is take our heads out of our asses and do fucking something. Are you there?
Anything wrong. Can you, William? You're bloody perfect. All you do is eat, shit, laugh, cry, sleep. Don't sleep. But you're loved. And I suppose you're loved because your parents have this blank page, don't they? And all their hopes can be projected onto this beautiful little blob.
And the blob can't disappoint because it's just a beautiful little blob. But of course that only lasts a few months until BAM!
Suddenly the blob's a little too hungry, a little too loud, a little less beautiful.
And then before you know it, the little blob's a little toddler. And now it's a little toddler, it's only right to be a bit more critical. Too aggressive, too shy, too quiet, can't stop eating, a little too cranky.
Blah, 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 blah.
Before you know it, the little toddler's 10 years old. And let's say another baby's born.
Oh, typical.
The 10-year-old is this big mouth to feed. This ever-growing child that causes worry, sucks your money and disappoints. Your parents' eyes are already on the next blob. Because at 10 years of age, a person's formed, a character's developed.
The damage is done.
Certainly was with me.
Now just think about what the teenager means to its parents. If a 10-year-old means that, Jim.
Well, we're not a child, not an adult.
Not a girl, not yet a woman.
Oh, Eva, please.
Brittany speaks the truth.
A teenager is a sub-person.
Not that Brittany ever used the lyric sub-person.
This hormonal mess. We're like a boy man, girl woman. We're a bad experiment.
So true.
You know, if God had really thought things through, we'd be born babies on the Monday and fully grown adults on the Tuesday. All the stuff in between is just a long list of fumblings, mistakes and bad skin.
Oh, the bad skin.
The teenage years.
And the voice we have, William.
What voice?
Any voice that hasn't been shaped by some shit children's writer or some draining pop star. If we do have an original thought, it's just seen as a joke, isn't it? It's a joke because those adults who have lived through these years remember them with complete and utter embarrassment.
And now see it as their right.
As their adult duty.
To patronise us with the words, whatever you're going through, you'll get through it.
Now clean that bloody bedroom, bitch!
Your mother would use the term bitch.
By 15, you've realised that the individual doesn't mean shit, and the average teenager is seen as the big embarrassing joke. We're all just folded up neatly and placed into a box marked the awkward years. But when you allow yourself to be summed up that simply, from 15 onwards, we will live the rest of these life through these different phases. We will be summed up into different boxes until they stick us in our final box and shove us in the ground. Guaranteed. Only a few teenagers make a stand. Only a few brave souls make a statement. Teenagers, like you, Jim.
Like me?
You know, I've been thinking that Jim's depression allows him to see things clearer than us. He's been neglected by his family and friends for so long that his isolation represents perfectly the average teenager's plight. It's like he's expressing important issues in creative ways. It's poetry. It's a metaphor, Eva.
It's quite brilliant, Will.
Imagine all those forgotten teenagers you'd be speaking for if you killed yourself publicly.
How do you mean?
You'd be a hero, a legend.
Very brave, very romantic. Sexy,
Do it
even.
in public? I'm not too sure about that.
Maybe do it in your bedroom. Maybe do it over the internet then. Would it be easier in your bedroom?
Yeah, I suppose it would.
It sort of seems right that he remains alone, that people see him die like that.
Well, it is stronger, isn't it?
Definitely.
Well, I'm usually alone anyway, so... And I don't really like being out in public places too often, so I guess it is easier.
Can you broadcast it?
My brother Jonathan has a Twitch account,
Perfect.
but he'd kill me if he found me using it.
Well, we wouldn't want that to happen, would we?
It sort of steals your thunder.
Yeah.
Jim, this is Laura.
And who are you?
She's coming with us. I've spoken with Jim before. We know each other.
You're a friend of his.
Why exactly are you harassing him like that?
With his friends?
No.
Do you know what state he's in?
I know he's not feeling well.
What?
He's not feeling good about himself. He's lonely. He feels detached.
He's suicidal. He's ready to take his own life.
Which is what you want. Oh, piss off, Jack.
Why are you doing this?
We're there for him. We didn't abandon him like you two. Jim came looking to us for advice, and we've been making things clear.
You're talking to him like there's no option. You're making him believe that there's nothing else. Like suicide is some romantic gesture. Like one 15-year-old's death will be held up by other 15-year-olds and celebrated for something. We'll make a big statement for all those trapped average teenagers. If you think of yourself as some blob moulded into this empty child and sent out on a set pattern through life, if you think that, it will happen.
It will happen. Choices will be made and choices are made where you have no control. Your life is set.
That's shit. Life is full of possibilities.
Bitch!
The statement being made is yours. But what are you saying, William? That you've got power? That you're smart enough to take advantage of someone vulnerable and talk them into a corner where they might kill themselves? And there's some joke to you two, right? Some big comedy. Because you can't see him, it's easier. It's easier when you don't have to see a dead boy and just imagine it like you've read it in a book or something. It's easier than murder, isn't it, William? Because Jim's faceless to you. But it's just like murder. In these rooms, words are power, and you and that bitch have all the right words.
Eva, come on.
Oh, fuck this!
You've tried to kill yourself, but chickened out, haven't you? Think I'm going to allow Jim to be lectured by some whinging coward like you? Some new age happy-clappy princess? Jim has real problems.
This isn't some competition about who's the most sad here. And if you need to know, you dick, I have tried to kill myself. I did slit my wrists, and it did come from a very real place. But I'm happy I'm alive. Some days are better than others, and the future scares me. But I'm ready for the struggle, and I like the struggle. I like it a lot more than being dead and stuck in the ground, watching over my friends and family that I've torn apart. Stay alive, and they can help me. Jim, there's always a life.
You're one of those sad, sad girls who just hangs out in suicide chat rooms, sitting there like some black hole, wallowing in the pain, soaking in the sad stories. What statement are you making, bitch? You talk about a life full of possibilities, choice, happiness, love. But I bet you'd love nothing more than a world full of sad, morose 15-year-olds draining on about their pathetic crap. Why not support those who want to kill themselves? Why not allow them to do it? They're like the front line, aren't they? The public face of our gloom, printed in the papers and shown on the telly. They need our support to do the brave thing, the decent thing, to get rid of the chaff that makes a true revolutionary teenager. So next time, do the decent thing. Do the decent thing, you worthless cow. Don't cry out to Mummy and Daddy, just do it!
Stop. I'm 16, and my life is mine to do with as I please. The 5 of us live in the same area. I want everyone here, tomorrow, to be at the McDonald's on the High Street. I want you to be there because I can't be in my bedroom anymore. I may do it quietly, but I want you to be there to see me.
Jim, I'm still here to talk to you.
You know, I don't think I can handle any more talking. Let's finish this. It's funny, but I slept well. Best I've slept in months. In the morning I left the house with all my stuff. There was no one there. My mother was working at the petrol station and my brothers were watching some wrestling match at Earl's Court. I got the bus and I saw a man and his young son there. And that got me thinking about my own dad, and the zoo, the cowboy outfit, and all that. Then I got to thinking about the thousands of teenagers who kill themselves every year. Somebody will be doing it right now, and many others already have it all planned out. Some may be doing it because they really are very ill. Some because they feel like they're truly alone, and others because they've been hurt by others. Then I got to thinking about the families that are left behind, and the regret that must consume them. It's all so quiet, really. Then I imagined the ghosts of these big teenagers on the high street. And I imagined them. What would they think? What would they want to know? And I imagined them following me down the high street to the McDonald's and watching me order chicken nuggets and fries and then find my table. And the angels in there saw me take out my camera. I saw those people as angels, but I only saw myself as myself. I didn't think this was some big idea, some big message that would reach millions of teenagers. Not at all. I'm alone. I decided to give my camera to some girl and told her to point it at me and at the table. There's no secret, but I've been very sad about things. And probably like the thousands of other teenagers who are depressed, it's almost enough to know that someone is there and that someone is listening. But I had to do something for me. I had to grow up fast when my dad left. It's as simple as that. And of course, I miss him, and I can't understand why he's gone. But something that simple can mess you up for a long time. When you're 6 and dressed in a cowboy outfit, looking over at penguins, you shouldn't be made to grow up that fast. But I was. And for years, I tormented myself about it, trying to find some kind of answer. But honestly, what can a child do? I just want my childhood back.
Keep them doggies rolling right through rain and wind and weather, hell and leather, wishing my gal was by my side. All the things I'm missing, good Beatles love and kissing, are waiting at the end of my ride.
Everything all right now?
Yeah. You?
Yeah. Thanks for sending me the film, Jim. It was good. It really helped.
Good. Will we talk about something else, Laura?
What will we talk about?
Bunny rabbits.
There's no combination of words I could put on the back of a postcard. No song that I could sing, but I could try for your heart. Our dreams, and they're made out of real things, like a shoebox of photographs with sepia tone loving. Love is the answer, at least for most of the questions in my heart. good.